Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. And today I want to talk about these GW6900 watches, but most specifically, this newest one I got. This is the GW6900 NASA 24-1, or GW6900 NASA 24-1. So a NASA tribute watch. I only have one other NASA tribute watch, and that's this G-Shock Square that came out a couple of years ago. So here we are in the year 2024. This is the newest NASA tribute watch in my collection. Now, normally it's not important to me to show you unboxing videos or to show you boxes, but if you want to make sure you got the genuine article here, you should expect it to come in a box like this. Okay, inside this box you will find manual and some cards, and then this metal tin, cylinder here with the actual watch inside of that. So I'm only showing you this to show you everything that comes with this watch, not to show how I unbox the watch. I think that's a silly thing to show. And unless it's really, there's some complicated method of unboxing something that I need to show you that. I don't see the point of showing you that. And also it's kind of, I figure I've got this out of the tin right now. I'm going to put this away. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to keep it somewhere, in my shed or something. But I don't really need this anymore. I'll probably just keep this in my watch cases that I normally use. I don't think I'll ever sell this watch. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice, but all I really wanted was the watch. Now let's compare these two watches. Technically, they are the same module, although there are some distinct color variations and some of the graphics are different on the two faces, but it's the same module 3179. And so all the basic same functions and features except for the colors and a couple other things I'll show you right now. So originally I bought this watch before. This is just kind of the standard issue GW6900. And then I bought another one and I modified it by putting on a bezel and band from one of the Love the Sea and the Earth collection watches from years ago. So this is not the genuine Love the Sea and the Earth watch, but it is the genuine band and bezel from that attached to a standard, 6900 here. And then I bought a third 6900 watch, GW6900. All three of these started out being exactly the same. This one here, I bought a kit off of AliExpress where I replaced the band and the bezel with this metal, and it is a nice solid metal bezel and a nice solid, metal bracelet. And so it just gives it a whole new look. They seem like such distinct watches, but they really are the same thing. And then this one, I also couldn't resist. I replaced the original watch band with one of these cheap Chinese imitation versions of of a bracelet, and it works okay. Now, here, let me just show you the difference here. Now, this is a genuine Casio bracelet here on the left, and it even says G-Shock on it. And this one on the right is that much less expensive Chinese knockoff. They look about the same. This one here, the Chinese version, third-party version, it's very lightweight. This one is kind of a combination of resin and metal, and it has a certain heft to it. This one's very lightweight. You might think at first, oh, it's not going to last. Now, I don't abuse these watches very much, and I also don't wear these watches very much. I have such a large collection that, I might only wear each of these watches a few times each year. So therefore, I can't really give you a real-world test on how well this third-party bracelet is holding up. It's holding up just fine because I just don't wear it that often. So I'm going to leave this here as is, and I enjoy a bracelet on this watch here. But that's my update on that. Just to compare, if you want to go with the genuine article, see, these bracelets are interchangeable. So if you were to get one of these genuine Casio bracelets from a G-Shock Square, like this GW5610, and you want to put this bracelet onto this watch, it would work just as is. Also, right here, this is another version of the Combi bracelet here. This one is more resin pieces, but still a nice genuine G-Shock bracelet, and it looks great on this watch here. This one would also be compatible if I wanted to move this over to this watch, or if I wanted to move it onto this watch here. I've done a couple videos where I showed you how I did some of those modifications, and it is kind of frustrating. There's some tight tolerances, and it's kind of hard to get in there and mix up these bracelets. But if you want to do that, it is possible. And again, they're all interchangeable. But okay, that's just some introductory stuff, because what I really want to tell you about is this. And this one, I don't think I'm going to replace the watch band with any kind of bracelet, because it also has a special decoration on it right there on the keeper. That grayscale United States flag there is kind of nice and kind of unique. And so otherwise, it's just a nice standard kind of resin watch band. And then here on the front, if you want to do a quick comparison, the LCD is the same there, except these little windows up here, these kind of eyes, the three-eyed monster here, you can see that they all have a little bit of a tint to it, kind of a green, bluish green tint there. This one here also bluish green, but then that one on the far right has kind of that, pinkish sort of tint to it. Otherwise, same module, just different colors there. So let me just, and of course it says NASA right there under the glass, as opposed to this one that has all the Casio stuff there. So anyway, let's talk about this one and all of its amazing functions and features. In case you're not familiar with the GW6900, there are a lot of 6900 series watches that have this basic shape style, but I like the GW version because it has these, a couple of my favorite features right here, multi-band 6 and tough solar. Tough solar means that there's a solar cell built into the face of the watch, and with everyday usage, with just normal lighting conditions, that'll give it enough power, enough solar power to keep the battery charged on this watch, and I think that's great. Also, multiband 6 means there's a radio receiver built into this watch, and every night, starting at midnight, it will try to receive atomic time information from any of 6 transmitters in different parts of the world. So there's one in China, there are 2 in Japan, there's one in the UK, also one in Germany, and then WWVB right here in the United States. So if you're in North America, this will, based on the time zone that you set, it'll try to receive atomic time information every night from one of those transmitters in different parts of the world. It'll try up to 6 times per night to receive. It's as soon as it's successful, like if it's successful on the very first try, it won't try again until the next night, starting at midnight. But if it takes 3 tries or 4 tries, then it will stop trying after that. And so what it will do is it will keep itself synchronized to the right time and the date, right down to the second. And, it might drift in accuracy by fractions of a second every day. But if it's able to set itself successfully every night, then you'll never, ever notice that it's off. It'll always be, look like it's just set to the exact correct time, down to the second, all the time. So don't have to set it. Daylight saving time changes. It'll handle that by itself. You don't have to change the battery. Maybe you would after, decades of use. That rechargeable cell inside there might wear down. You'd have to maybe replace that. But my oldest tough solar watch that I have, I've had it now since 2006. So that's 18 years. So far, so good. I've never had to open up that watch for any reason at all, especially not to change the battery. So I'm expecting similar performance from this watch here. Now you'll notice there are 4 buttons here for various functions and features. And then this one here with the G on it is actually the backlight button. So a 5th button just for the backlight. Inside these little windows here are some indications like PS for power save. So there's a little, kind of a slice of a pie to show you that power save is enabled. And there's the high, medium, and low for the state of the battery. That little CHG is for charge. So if it's a very, very low battery state, that'll blink a little warning there that you need to charge it up. Also here, AEL for the automatic electroluminescent backlight. Mute, so you can have it not beep as much if you enable mute. The hourly signal, if an alarm is set, that will show there. And if a snooze alarm is set, that will also show there. And then you've got this little animation here that's counting up or down the seconds as it's running its normal timekeeping right here. Here you have the day of the week, and also the month and the date, and then the time either in a 12-hour or 24-hour mode. That RCVD there means that it was able to successfully receive time and date information the last time it tried. And if I push this button up here that says split and reset, actually what I can have here on my home timekeeping screen, I can also show my world time zone right there and have them both together on the same screen. So just a simple toggle right there for the two time zones together, or just just that right there. Then the mode button down here on the lower left, I go to the next mode, and this is where I can set that second time zone, my world time zone. Right now I've got it set to UTC, but if I go here, push this button down here, it's as though I'm going eastward on the map to select some other time zone. I can also go the other direction with this button here, but I'm going to leave it on UTC right now. The next mode, if I push that button, will be the alarm mode, and there are 5 alarms plus this hourly signal. So if hourly signal, it'll beep every hour on the hour, or I can turn that off right there. And you'll notice the signal right there, indicator goes off and on there. Let's see. Also, then I can scroll through and set these 5 alarms and turn them on or off. And then the 5th alarm is a snooze alarm. So if I turn that on, right now it's set for 8 a.m. And what will happen is it'll beep for 10 seconds. And then 5 minutes later, it'll beep again. 5 minutes after that, it'll beep again. Unless I stop it, it'll go up to 30 minutes after the initial alarm time. And that's your snooze alarm there. So I'm going to leave that off for now. And let's see. Next up is a stopwatch, and pretty standard as far as stopwatches if you're used to it. Right there, that little animation is counting tenths of a second, but it actually shows hours, minutes, seconds, and hundredths of a second down there. Also split time, you got the split time right there. And if you stop it, you can reset with that. If you don't stop it, it'll go all the way up to 24 hours, reset to 0, and keep on going. And well, there you go. Next, a countdown timer. So if this were set to all zeros, it would be a true 24-hour countdown timer. You can set the minutes, and the hours and minutes, not the seconds, but just whole hours and minutes, and then it just counts down like you would normally expect from any countdown timer. And again, you've got a little animation up there to coincide with the countdown, and reset it right there. And if I press mode again, I'm back to my home screen. Now, the first thing you're supposed to do with this watch when you get it is to adjust your home time zone. So if I push adjust there, it shows me the Denver time zone. So all the time zones are named after major cities in that time zone. So I'm in the mountain time zone of the United States. I would set it to Denver for the correct time zone. Otherwise, I could go press this button down here as though I'm going eastward on the map to select a different time zone, or back the other direction with that button up there. Next, I can set it to automatically change for daylight saving time. That's the little DST right there. Or I can have daylight saving time always off or always on, or again, just have it automatically changing. So I would, if I were, say, in Arizona, this would be the correct setting. Denver time zone with daylight saving time always off. But I'm going to, again, put it back to auto for where I am. Next, 12-hour or 24-hour display right there. That affects all the modes of the watch. Then you can manually set the hours, minutes, and seconds right here. Also manually set the year, month, and date if you want to. When you manually set that, if you set it to something other than the real date or the real time, then the next time the watch is able to automatically process atomic time information from its receiver that's built in, it will override your manual setting with the real time and date. So there you go. Next, key. So it'll beep every time you press a button, basically, when key is active. But if I push this button down here, I can mute that. And now it's not going to beep as often. It's only going to beep when certain things happen, like the hourly chime will still make a noise when it's in mute. Also, when a countdown timer happens, gets to the end of the countdown timer, it will still make a sound. And also the alarms will still make a sound when it's muted, but that just doesn't make beeps as often. See now, so let's see here. Here is one that is not muted. So I'm just going to hold this next to the microphone, and every time I press the mode button, it makes a beep. That one little beep that is the little higher pitch means it's gone back to the home screen, the main timekeeping screen. Okay, next, right here, you can set the duration of the backlight to either 3 seconds or 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds would save you some battery power if you use that button a lot to light up the backlight But since this is rechargeable, I usually leave it on the long duration. I just kind of like that. I don't worry about running out of power because it's easily recharged. Power save. This watch will automatically turn off the display overnight if you're not using the watch, and that will save some power. So I could disable that, and then if power save is off, then the display will stay on all the time. If power save is on, then that means after 10 o'clock, if the watch is in the dark and no one's moving it, then it will go blank until 6 o'clock in the morning. At 6 o'clock in the morning, you can, if it's still in the dark and no one's wearing it, it's going to stay off. But the way to get the display back on again is either, the solar cell is kind of a light sensor. So if you expose this to good lighting, the display will come back on out of that sleep mode. Or if you move it, kind of wiggle it, that will also do it. Or if you press any button when the display goes blank, that will bring it back. So power save, I leave that on. If I suppose if I knew that I was going to want to look at the watch a lot between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., I might just leave power save off. But there you go. So now we're back to the beginning of our adjustments there. Now, I told you that this would automatically try to receive atomic time information overnight. If you want to force it to try to receive and you don't want to wait for it to do it on its own, this button down here that says start stop, you can press and hold that button. Well, first of all, I should say, you can tap that button. It'll show you the last time it was able to successfully process the time and date information. So that was just, overnight, just a few hours ago, this morning, I guess. And if I press and I hold this button now, then that will initialize a manual reception. So right now our CVD is blinking and it's telling me it's got a reception level 1 reception, which is not very good. You want to have it go up to level 3 reception and sustain that for a few minutes to get really good, to get the good reception. If it does this too long at level 1, after a few minutes, it's going to give me an error and say, hey, I just can't do this. And part of the problem it's not working right now is that, first of all, it's not overnight yet. I've got a monitor here, some video equipment and stuff, and that's causing some radio interference. So it's probably not going to get up to level 3 right now under these conditions. But overnight, with everything turned off, I'm sure it'll be just fine. Oh, see, it gave me an error. Said, try some other time. Usually I can do this even during the day if I don't have video equipment and computer equipment and stuff nearby, because I'm pretty close to the transmitter in Colorado, only about 350 miles away. So I usually get pretty good reception all the time. Now, one other thing I should show you here, if for some reason you don't want it to ever try to receive the WWVB or the other multiband 6 transmitter, broadcasts, you can disable that. I don't know why you'd want to, but what you do is when it's showing this right here, now I hold down that adjust button and it'll say radio control on or off. If I turn that off, then it's just another quartz watch with accuracy to plus or minus 15 seconds a month under the specifications. It's a factory specification. It's going to be accurate to within 15 seconds plus or minus every month. But I'm going to leave that turned on because I want it to keep trying to set itself all the time. I should also tell you that when I first pulled this watch out of the box just a couple of days ago after I got it, I checked this right here, and it was about 2.5 months since it had been able to check itself, according to the indication right there. And in 2.5 months, it was off by 10 seconds. Which tells me that it's good plus or minus 4 seconds a month. Even though specifications say 15, this particular watch was good for just 4 seconds a month accuracy, and that's pretty good. Now, since this is a special NASA tribute watch, it has, of course, the NASA logo right there. It has that flag there, and on the back of the watch, it has kind of a special engraving. Like many G-Shock watches, it has, the made in Thailand, stainless steel back, water resistant 20 bar, all those specifications there. 3179, that's the module. GW6900, that's the main, basic model of watch here. And then right there, it has the formula for impact on the back of the watch. So that kind of distinguishes this to know that it's a genuine NASA watch. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to find this Caseback, from packparts.com or something, or if that's just kind of a unique thing that you're just never going to be able to kind of mimic this watch. But anyway, so that's what makes it special right there. And also on the front with that NASA logo, those are your indications that this is a genuine NASA tribute watch. One other way to show that it's a genuine NASA tribute watch is press that backlight and you'll see right there, there is in fact a formula for gravity, just a shadow of that in the backlight. So anyway, that's kind of fun if you are some kind of rocket scientist and you kind of forget the formula for gravity or for impact, you can just look at your watch and find that right there. I mentioned earlier the watch has an automatic backlight, and so what that means is if you're moving it like this kind of action here, as though it's on your wrist and you just moved it up here to look at it, has a sensor inside that knows that you did that, and it will activate the backlight for either 1.5 or 3 seconds, depending on the selection you made in this setup there. And the way to activate or deactivate that automatic electroluminescent backlight, there you see the indicator that it's activated. If I press and hold this light button for just a couple seconds there, then that AEL will disappear there. Now the automatic backlight is not enabled, but I can re-engage it by holding down that light button for just a few seconds. And really that's about it. This is, I guess, a limited edition watch. So I ordered it as soon as I could because when I ordered this one a couple of years ago, it sold out very quickly. I mean, within hours or maybe a day, this one was completely sold out. I wondered if this GW6900 NASA tribute version would also sell out quickly, but I think it's still available if you want to go for it. If you don't get it, in time, I suppose they'll be on eBay, especially marked up considerably from the suggested retail price of $170. Now, $170, I admit, is a little bit much. If you were to buy this one here with a standard resin bracelet, you'd find it for closer to somewhere between $90 and $100. So, are you willing to pay extra just for that NASA logo there, a little bit of a color difference, the backlight, shadow, and that special case back that you're probably never going to really look at, right? Because you're wearing the watch. So is it worth all that extra money? I don't know. If you're a collector, if you're totally into NASA, I suppose it's fun to have all these NASA tribute watches. So far, they've come up with 5 of them. This is the 5th one, brand new for 2024. So yeah, there it is. Okay, all the functions and features. This is what it looks like. Just kind of a nice standard G-Shock, good feel, good weight, it's a G-Shock. It just fits, right? So that's all for now. And if you'd like more videos, guess what? I'm going to make more videos. In fact, I've got a watch that just came today, and I'm going to have to do a review on that. But that'll be later, so I hope you'll come back to watch more episodes of The Good Timekeeping Show.